A very pleasant morning to all my dear children. Welcome back to English Online class of Sri Gokulam Public School, Guruvayur. How are you all doing, children? I hope you all are safe and staying healthy at home. Yes? Okay, children, then let's start our today's session. We are discussing lesson 5, The Summit Within, from our Honeydew text. The Summit Within is a lesson written by Major H.P.S. Ahluwalia. In this lesson, he narrates his real life experience of climbing the Mount Everest and his experience and feelings as he stood on the summit of the Mount Everest. So let's continue the lesson. Let's deal with the last part today. In the previous class or in the previous paragraph, we saw that Major H.P.S. Ahluwalia, along with his mountaineers, when he stood or when he reached on the summit, he had such an ennobling or enriching experience. Because when they looked from the top of the peak to the panorama below them, they were so overwhelmed, they were so overexcited, because the small peaks that surrounded the Mount Everest, it looked like a necklace worn by the Mount Everest, by the summit. So it was such an ennobling or enriching experience, such a beautiful view to have. So he, along with his other mountaineers, they pay respect to God. They pay obeisance to God. And how did they show their obeisance or respect to God? They all left some symbols of gods or goddesses on the Everest. What did our author left? He left a picture of Guru Nanak. And Rawat, his friend, he left a picture of goddess Durga. And Podarji, his another friend, another mountaineer, he left a relic of Lord Buddha. And Edmund Hillary, he left a cross. Cross, you all know, it is the symbol of Christianity in the Khan. So all these mountaineers, they left some or other pictures or relics of God or goddesses because they want to pay respect to God. They were so grateful or they were so thankful to God for making them successful in their journey. And it was not a symbol of conquest, but it was a symbol of reverence. Reverence means it was a symbol of respect to God. They don't want to show that they have achieved something great. They are not being proud of their achievement, but they want to show or they want to be thankful to God. That is what we saw in our previous class. So now let's see the last part of our lesson. In the last part, he says that there is another summit. There is another summit, and that is called internal summit or summit within. So what is that summit within or internal summit? Let's see. So all of you take your textbook, take page number 78. Let's read the paragraph. The experience of having climbed to the summit changes you completely. This is what we saw in the beginning of the lesson also. That he is not the same person, the person who started the journey. When he reached on the summit, he was totally changed. Totally changed means in all the aspects, physical, mentally or spiritually, he was totally changed. Let's see the next paragraph. There is another summit. It is within yourself. It is in your own mind. Each man carries within himself his mountain peak. He must climb it to reach to a fuller knowledge of himself. It is fearful and unscalable. It cannot be climbed by anyone else. The physical act of climbing to the summit of a mountain outside is akin to the act of climbing the mountain within. The effects of both the climbs are the same. Whether the mountain you climb is physical or emotional and spiritual, the climb will certainly change you. It teaches you much about the world and about yourself. In the next paragraph, he says that there is another summit. He talks about another summit. That summit is internal summit or summit within. Summit that is inside us. And that is our own mind. What is that internal summit? That is our own mind. And that is fearful or unscalable. We all carry that mountain peak within us, that mountain of fear, that mountain of anxiety, that mountain of hopelessness. All such mountains are there within us. We carry it with us. And he says that we fear to climb the internal summit. We fear to climb the summit within us. and it is unscalable and that cannot be measured. He says that we have to climb it ourselves. No one will help us to climb the mountain peak within us, to climb the summit within us. So we have to have a fuller knowledge of ourselves. We should know us fully. So what is that internal summit? It is knowing us fully, to know oneself. That is the internal summit. And we all fear to know oneself, or we all fear to climb or to conquer all those negative thoughts and lead to success. We lack that confidence, we lack that strength to climb within us, to climb our mountain peak, to climb our mind and look into ourselves. We all fear to look into ourselves, we all fear to know us fully, to know oneself. So that is told in this paragraph. He says that climbing the internal summit is akin. Akin means it is similar to the physical climb or to the external climb. He says that both the climbs are the same. The effects of both the climb, whether you climb Mount Everest or whether you climb your own mind, it is the same. Both the climb has the same effects. Same effects means it will change you completely. It will change you physically, mentally or spiritually. It will teach you a lesson that you should be brave, that you should be confident, and you get to know of yourself and also the world. Let's see the last paragraph. I venture to think that my experience as an Everester has provided me with the inspiration to face life's ordeals resolutely. Climbing the mountain was a worthwhile experience. The conquest of the internal summit is equally worthwhile. The internal summits are perhaps higher than Everest. In the last paragraph, he says that being in Everest, now he is able to face the ordeals of life. Ordeals means the painful experience or the bitter experience of life resolutely. Resolutely means with firmness or with determination. He has gained that willpower, he has gained that confidence to face whatever troubles that may come across his life. So now he is brave enough or confident enough to face any challenges in his life. He says that climbing the Mount Everest and climbing the summit within is both worthwhile. It is worth doing. He doesn't regret for having done such an adventurous activity. He ends the lesson by saying that climbing our own mind, climbing the internal summit may be higher than the external summit. So children, be inspired from the life of Major H.P.S. Ahluwalia. Get inspired. Be adventurous in your life. Be ready to face any challenges that comes in your life. Face all the challenges or the difficulties that may come across in your future life with firmness or with willpower. Children, I hope you all understood the lesson clearly. So now let's do the textual exercises. Take page number 79, first one. Standing on Everest, the writer was jubilant and sad. He was both happy and unhappy at the same time. Why? He was happy because he conquered the ultimate, the highest peak of the world. He was sad because there were no more heights to achieve. The only thing left for him is he has to climb down. So he was sad. Look at the next one. The emotion that gripped him was one of humility and a sense of smallness. So when he reached on the summit, he had that humbleness, and he also realized the fact, he was also conscious of the fact that we are reduced to smallness. Means he feels how small we are in this large universe. The third one, the summit of the mind refers to the process of maturing mentally and spiritually and a fuller knowledge of oneself. So he says that the summit within, by summit within, he means that it is a fuller knowledge of oneself. That is the answer for the summit within. But here you have to mark the items that are irrelevant, that are not relevant. So the other options are not relevant. And what you mean by the summit within? It means having a fuller knowledge of oneself, knowing you fully. The next is working with the text. In working with the text, the first one is question answers. that I have given you the notes, so you have to download the notes and write it in your English notebook. The second one, let's see the second one. And in the second one, they have given you a sentence and you have to find out the similar sentences from the text and write it here. The next one is working with language. In that, they have given some phrases in italics. So you have to find out the meaning of those words in italics and complete the sentences. So the first one, mountains are nature at its best. At its best, it means nature's best form and appearance. Your life is at risk. What do you mean by at risk? At risk means your life is in danger. He was at his best or at his worst. What do you mean by that? It was his best performance or it was his worst performance. So similarly, they have given you some phrases in the yellow box: at hand, at once, at all, at a low ebb, at first sight. I think you know the meanings of all the phrases given in the yellow box except at a low ebb. At a low ebb means in a bad or weakened state, in a bad or weak state. So try to complete those sentences using the words or using the phrases given in the yellow box. The second one, you have to form the noun forms. You have to write the noun forms. So it becomes the abstract forms. Noun forms are the following words adding ance or ence to each. First one, endure. How will you change it into noun? Endurance. endurance. Second one, persist. Persistence. persistence. Similarly, try to complete the rest of the words. Change those words to noun forms. The third one, in page number 82, you have to match the words under A with the meanings under B. So the first one, remote. Remote means far away from. Means means methods. Dominant. The third one is dominant. Dominant means most prominent. Formidable means difficult to overcome. Overwhelmed. Be overcome or overpowered. So by using the words given under A, you have to complete the sentences. I hope you will be able to do it by yourself. Yes? Okay, children. So try to do it by yourself. I hope you all understood today's lesson clearly. So children, that's all for today. Let's wind up the session. See you in the next class.